The Book of Numbers paints a brutal picture of the Israelite journey. They are marching through a sun-baked, desolate wilderness, and the sheer exhaustion of the march is pushing the entire camp to a breaking point. The fatigue finally boils over into an internal collapse. The people turn against Moses, bitterly complaining about the lack of food and water. And in response, a plague of venomous snakes infiltrates the camp. The resulting bites decimate the population, leaving the survivors desperate and defeated. Survival requires an unorthodox solution. God instructs Moses to forge a bronze snake and hoist it up on a wooden pole. Anyone bitten by the venomous snakes simply has to look at the bronze figure to live. This act of looking to the bronze snake functioned as a total reset for the camp. By surviving this final internal crisis of leadership, the Israelites leave their identity as displaced refugees behind and begin operating as a coordinated military front. The map tracks their route. The camp advances north, destroying Canaanite forces at Hormah, meaning total destruction. Sihon of the Amorites and Og of Bashan attack, only for the Israelites to crush them, seizing Heshbon and Bashan. This photograph captures excavated ruins of ancient strongholds. These thick stone walls were built to repel sieges, yet against the Israelite advance, they proved useless. This 1890 photograph shows the calm River Jordan. At this boundary, the massive Israelite army finally halted, setting up camp directly across from Jericho. For the neighboring nations, the geopolitical reality was clear. Every conventional physical deterrent, massed infantry, spears, and walled cities, had failed to stop the Israelite advance. This wide landscape shot places us at the vantage point of King Balak of Moab. Looking down from these heights, he saw a massive, undefeated army camped squarely on his border, and he knew his military had no chance. Realizing a military strike would be suicide, Balak pivots to a radical strategy. He hires Balaam, an internationally famous prophet, to perform a spiritual assassination, contracting him to place a divine curse on the camp below. While Balak orchestrates this spiritual strike from the heights, the scene below is remarkably quiet. Down on the valley floor, the Israelites are simply pitching tents and gathering firewood, completely unaware that a supernatural hit has been ordered against them. This is asymmetric warfare. When physical might is neutralized, desperate empires resort to the unseen realm to dismantle their enemies from the outside in. This photograph illustrates the rocky, desolate dirt paths cutting through the region. Balak accepts the king's fee, saddles his donkey, and begins the long journey toward Moab along a road exactly like this one. But an unseen trap is waiting. The angel of the Lord steps directly into the middle of the narrow road, holding a drawn sword and ready to strike the prophet dead. Balaam is a man renowned and highly paid specifically for his spiritual sight. Yet, as he rides straight toward a lethal divine entity, he is entirely blind to the danger standing right in front of him. His lowly pack animal, however, sees the angel perfectly. The donkey swerves into the field, crushes his foot against a wall, and collapses in the dirt, absorbing 3 violent beatings from the oblivious prophet. The standoff only ends when God performs a miracle. He opens the donkey's mouth to verbally rebuke Balaam, and then finally opens the prophet's eyes to the terrifying reality he had missed. It's a reminder that true perception isn't tied to status or reputation. In this moment, a stubborn beast of burden could see divine truth clearer than a famous prophet blinded by greed. Balaam survives the encounter on the road, and finally arrives at the mountain peaks of Moab, looking down once again at the Israelite camp. But when he opens his mouth to execute the curse, he utters a blessing instead. He realizes he is hopelessly outmatched, confessing to the king that he cannot manipulate or override the God of Israel. 2 realities are unfolding at once. High on the mountain, a devastating spiritual weapon is quietly diffused. Down in the valley, the Israelites sleep safely in their tents, completely unbothered. Israel's survival never rested on the strength of their bronze swords or their ability to counter foreign magic. Whether facing visible armies or invisible curses, their presence on the border was a result of divine sovereignty. The greatest battles won on our behalf are often the ones we never knew were